Service without humility is selfishness and egotism. This is a quote by Mahatma Gandhi that I thought would be perfect for my speech today. Today, I'm going to tell you about a lesson I've learned listening to class. Although community service wasn't a huge lesson in our class today, it still had an effect on me, and on April 13th, I went with my sister to March for Dimes to volunteer, and at first I just wanted to go because Mr. Herrick said there would be a free 100, but then the longer I stayed there, the longer I realized that it was more than just a free 100. It was more of a healthy way for me to realize what the community is. I wanted to help our community, and I was really happy that I would go there. This lesson may not have been valuable to me, but it was very valuable to me because it taught me that not everything is about just staying there. It's more about helping the community and making it a difference. This lesson caught my eye because not many people talk about community service. Today I told you about a lesson that I thought was the Period LeadWorthy, that I thought was valuable and how it was important. I challenge you all to help our community and donate your time to help it and make it succeed.
Have you ever had a fixed mindset? Some of you may have had a fixed mindset, but may not have known what it meant. LeadWorthy helped me know the difference between a fixed and a growth mindset. A fixed mindset is people believing in a talent that they already have, but not putting any effort in it or developing it to do better. A growth mindset is people taking that talent and developing it to do better. Growth mindsets make you not settle where you're at. They make you push yourself and go above your limit. Nothing bad happens when you push yourself above the limit. Thomas Edison had a growth mindset whenever he was creating a light bulb. He had failed many attempts before he made the final product. If he had had a fixed mindset, he would have just gave up where he was at, and instead of achieving his goal and dream. Today I told you about the difference between a growth and a fixed mindset. Keep pushing yourself to go above the limit.
What have I learned from LeadWorthy? This question can be answered in many ways. When you hear the tear and wind that scratches your heart, with the path with no speech, and the voice that has no words but has a breath, the light that has no rhythm but has a spark, the broken have been given a chance to live. What is life without pain? From this class, I've experienced a path that has given me another life opportunity and smile. I was locked in a door that I was unable to get out of. I was on a thin piece of glass that was beginning to crack. I thought this class was just a class. I was wrong. Everyone in here has impacted my life one way or another. Things get hard, and I smile. Things might be rough, and I might not be able to think I can get through it, but I get through it. With this class, I'm not afraid to embrace myself. So what have I learned from LeadWorthy? I've learned to love myself inside and out. A quote I wrote to myself many times to encourage myself that everything will get better is, how will I know I'm right when I'm wrong? How will I see the future when I'm still living in the past? Will the tears fall and I won't be able to go through it, but I know I will smile again. With all the hurt, there comes relief. So how will you live your life?
I'd like to kick things off with a quote by Dr. Joyce Brothers. A strong, positive self-image is the best possible preparation for success in life. I felt like this quote really related to the topic I'm about to talk about today. Today, I'm going to share with y'all a topic I learned in LeadWorthy. I've learned a lot of lessons in LeadWorthy throughout the year, but to me, the most important would be self-concept. Self-concept is the way you view yourself based on a multitude of factors, such as your experiences and like other people's opinions and expectations of you. It's important because your thoughts translate into your actions. And I don't know, but like a lot of people talk to me and they're like, wow, you're so negative. And like you can tell by talking to me that like I kind of have a very negative self-concept of myself, which kind of holds me back because I tend to be more conservative in my actions and I don't take as many risks. LeadWorthy has helped me kind of move towards change. Change in this case being moving towards a more positive self-concept. It's helped me by teaching me reframing, which is seeing things in a more positive way, or like seeing the positive side of things, and just teaching me about growth mindset, which is kind of like, to me, like, oh, you might not get it today, but if you keep trying and work towards it, you'll get it one day. I'd like to conclude with a quote by the late 16th President Abraham Lincoln. One can choose to go back towards safety or forward towards growth. I felt that this really describes my journey with LeadWorthy, and that it's really helped me move forward and move towards being a better and more secure person. Today I told y'all about a lesson I learned in LeadWorthy this year. Thank you.
Believe in yourself and you'll be unstoppable. Today I'm going to tell you about a lesson I've learned in LeadWorthy. I've learned that about self-confidence. This lesson helped me in school and cheer. So I was not hitting in cheer and like doing pretty bad, and I was like, I can't do this. I'm gonna fall. And then next day I was like, no, I'm gonna do this. I believe in myself. And then I did so good and I hit. This lesson will help me in life. It will help me in school, jobs. It will help me be confident and always believe in myself. Now I know, like, I just have to put my mind to it and then I will do it. I've always known about this, but I've never truly, I'm like, if I just believe I can do it, that's not going to help me. But it actually does, because it will help you, like, believe you can do it, and thoughts equal actions. I've taught this lesson to, like, my friends and shit who, like, they're doing bad too, and, like, I'll tell them to be confident, and then they'll do good. When you doubt your power, you give power to your doubt.
Have you ever said you can do something one day and you can't another day? Well, today I'm going to talk about a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. So the difference between a growth mindset and a fixed mindset is a growth mindset is like telling yourself even if you fail, you're going to continue, you're going to keep on trying, you're always expanding, and if you fail at something, you're going to try again. Fixed mindset is when you try something, you fail, you're not willing to try again, you're just not a very positive or determined person to be around. And what this has taught me in life is if you have, I used to have, personally, I connect with this topic is because whenever a while back, I used to have a fixed mindset, and after I kept on failing on things in school, I would fail on a test, and I thought that's how it was going to be for all tests. I don't need to try again, I'll just go in there, the day and try to study. But that didn't really get me anywhere, and learning what the difference between a growth mindset and a fixed mindset actually opened my eyes in this class and in the outside world, because I started using the skill. And a growth mindset kind of just got me through life more smoothly, because everybody's gonna fail at something in life. You're not gonna always be first in line. You're not always gonna get 100 on a test. Nobody's perfect like that. But you can always keep on getting up, trying again, and that's what I learned in this class. And personally, in LeadWorthy, this has taught me and helped me in life. So today I talked about the difference between a growth mindset and a fixed mindset, and how you should really use it in your life, because a fixed mindset, people job opportunities and stuff, they're not gonna want somebody that's gonna fail at something like, okay, I'm expecting you to fire me now. But like, you gotta keep on going through your life. And yeah, thank you.
Today I'm going to tell you about a lesson I learned in LeadWorthy. Growth mindset is a very important lesson that everybody should learn. Steve Maraboli once said, once your mindset changes, everything on the outside will change along with it. A growth mindset is very important for people. It shows that you're willing to learn and not give up. You achieve many things in life with a growth mindset. When leaders have a growth mindset, it teaches others to not give up and keep on trying on their goals. Growth mindset means to expand yourself and not stay to only what you know or what you're comfortable with. Overall, growth mindsets are very helpful for people and what they do. I told you about a lesson I've learned in LeadWorthy today. I challenge you to take a risk and try something new.
Have you ever been misunderstood or lied to by someone important to you? Depending on who you are, how you take it is like whether you're sensitive or strong, or like it's just the person you are in general and how you take things in from other people's opinions. Well, today I'm going to tell you about a lesson that I've learned in LeadWorthy about self-awareness. This lesson isn't necessarily about me, but it is about someone very close to me, and I was in it, but it was mostly about this girl. So one day, like, she's a sensitive person. We're completely opposite. She's sensitive and she's quiet and she's just completely different. She doesn't react to things very well because like she's more of a shy person. And so one day she comes home and you can tell when she's like sad or something, and I asked her what happened, and she's like telling me about like her friends like getting mad at her for the smallest reason of her like leaving a text on open. And I was getting irritated. Like, I usually have self-control, but like the way she was acting was like so sad, and it made me sad. And so like I was trying to tell her what to text, and to be honest, what I told her to text was not that bad. I wasn't cursing or anything, but I was being kind of rude because it was irritating me. And it escalated so quickly, and they were calling her dumb, and they were calling her sneaky, it's just, I know she's not that kind of person, and she would never do anything out of bad intentions. And so she didn't understand, and like she was shaking and everything, and I was getting really mad. And I have their phone number, so I was about to say some bad stuff, but I didn't. And I feel like she wasn't self-aware of like how she reacted to things, because she let it get to in a way it is her fault, because she let it get to the point where they let her where she let her friends walk over her and control her to do things, and it just made me mad. And then we resolved the situation, and I talked about it with my mom, and she talked to their parents, and they noticed how like the reason that everything happened. And it just made and this was really recent, so I'm good with it now. And so today I told you about a lesson I learned about LeadWorthy. And to be honest, it wasn't only about self-awareness, it was also self-control. And the self-control part was mostly me, because I controlled myself to help her out and to also not say bad stuff, because I learned that attitude and your actions go together, and that it can affect how other people react to things, and that bad things can happen from the way you react. And I just wanted to challenge you guys to think before you tell other people bad stuff about them, and because you never know how they react to stuff or how sensitive they are, like what's actually going on at home, and you could affect how they do things. Like if they drive, they're thinking about other stuff, and they get into a car crash, and I don't know, bad things happen when bad things happen when people say bad stuff. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. I know some of us in this room right now have or at least had depression and anxiety, and we tell ourselves that we can't, and we're not worth it, even though we are. Today I'm going to talk to y'all about how I learned to appreciate myself in this class this year. In the beginning of the year, I was going through some really rough stuff with my family. So I had lost someone, and I didn't think I could make it through the year without them because they really helped me. And it was hard for me to come to school the first week because I didn't know what to expect. But after coming to this class, I realized how important it would be to me for that first week. The first couple days, I didn't really think I needed it, that it wasn't going to be good for me, because it was like a demon in my head was telling me like I'm not worth it or I'm never going to be worth it. But after a while, I realized how good this class is and how it's teaching us how to be better and how to grow as a person. Today I told y'all about how what I learned in LeadWorthy this year. I know it's hard to get over depression and anxiety, but it's possible. It just takes a while. So I applaud y'all to do it if y'all want.
Today I'm going to tell you guys about something that has helped me. A quote. Because one believes in oneself, one doesn't try to convince others. Confidence stands above most lessons because it helps me reach a like typical comfort level. And I will use confidence by helping believe that I can do it and I will do it and I can proceed through life. And I share this lesson with my little sister, and she has pursued. She has started studying a little more. She has started doing better in school. Started going around the house, And today I have told you about something that has helped me. And a quote to help you carry on with your day is "Dream as you'll live forever, or live as you'll die today." By James D.
Have you ever felt like you couldn't? Have you ever felt like you couldn't do something or had no one to support you? But today I'm gonna be talking about something I learned in LeadWorthy, which is self-motivation. I feel like everybody needs this in their life because not all the time are people gonna support you, and not all the time people are gonna support you or motivate you, and sometimes you just need yourself just to be there for yourself or just to be there for other people. And on one time, I was at the park, and there's these other kids in the basketball court I was about to play, but they said that I was too bad to play with them, so I didn't play, but my brother helped me to get better, and that kind of motivated me to do better. So the next day I went back to that basketball court and I played, and I didn't win, but I did good. Today I talked about something I learned in LeadWorthy. Thank you.
Control your attitudes because it reflects on you later on in life. If you can't control your attitude, then how can you become a leader? How can you guide others in the right way? Today I'm going to be talking about how your attitude reflects on you as a person. The lesson I'm going to talk about is your attitude. This lesson stands out to me above the rest of them because I can relate to it more. I can use this lesson throughout my life by having a positive attitude towards others. Because in one way, we all are leader in some way. It has changed almost everything throughout the school year. In conclusion, how can you be a leader if you don't have a positive attitude?
in LeadWorthy, I've learned a lot of valuable lessons, and it's like helped me with stuff. But one thing that I never really realized, like people have told me this before, but LeadWorthy really taught me this, is that you control your thoughts and actions and emotions. No one else does. So it's important to know this. So today I'm going to be telling you about only you control your thoughts and emotions. So it's important to know that like you're the only one that can control your thoughts and emotions, because like even though if like you want to blame everyone for something, like you want to blame, like let's say you're a little kid, you knock over a plant, you want to blame the dog, or you always want to say something like, oh, this made me do it, like, oh, that person made me do this. It's really you that's doing it. Like, you control your thoughts. Like, even if you're mad, you can say, oh, I was angry, so I just did this. But you really gotta like, it's not your anger that made you do something. It's you. So, LeadWorthy has taught me this, because we've been going over that. It's just like, oh, try to find a time when you blame other people. I realized, oh, I've blamed a lot of people, and maybe I should start working on this. And people told me, like my family told me in the past, that I've really blamed people. And yeah, I used to, when bad stuff happened to me, I would just say, oh, this person made me do it. That's not my fault why I did this. It's just like, nothing's my fault. I'm good. I'm like, it's really me. Like, if I think like, oh, well, the reason I'm in a bad day is because like this person did that, but no, it's really, it's like, it's not saying it's like you're a bad person, but you gotta realize sometimes that it's you who's doing stuff. And yeah, so in conclusion, the only person that controls what you do is you. And this lesson is important, because if you always think like, oh, this and that happened for a certain reason, like not because of yourself, it's gonna be hard to have like your head clear for future, like, and jobs and stuff.
Ever learned a lesson that could change your whole life? Well, I learned about first impressions this year in Mr. Herrick's class, and it's going to make a huge difference, and I know that for a fact. So recently I've been like taking football very, very seriously, and my dad and I have been talking about like starting to go visit colleges, like just get a head start, and like I need to be able to talk to coaches on the phone, meet them in person, be able to just like show them my personality and just get into their mind to like maybe put me on a team eventually. And I just feel like it's very important to like make a good impression, to leave that with them, so that they're like, oh, this kid Jackson Ladisky, he has a good personality. He might make a great leader for this team. And then my dad's always like, you need to make sure that you're acting well and you're always behaving and use proper grammar. And I've just been practicing on all that, and so just making a first impression always count. And to conclude, first impressions can make a huge difference, and all you have to do to make a good impression is just be the best you can be. Thank you.
Have you ever had a period in your life that you were always enraged, that you were always mad, every minute, on the minute, on every hour, every part, every day? Today, I'm going to tell you a story of how I got my self-control. Ever since the first grade, there was this kid that was always annoying. He was always annoying and doing weird stuff to himself. I would say it was pretty abnormal. I was never the same after that. I was always mad. But ever since I went on medication, I've been calming down. But then when I went into this class, it helped me. I would lose my self-control most of the time, but ever since I went into this class, it helped me control my anger and socialize with people more. This is also the first time I ever talked about this. So I told you guys a part of my life that I lost my self-control, and then somehow I got it back. I want to thank the entire class for helping me gain my self-control back. Thank you.
I'm pretty sure all of y'all have tried to make someone above y'all. Alright, have y'all ever tried to make a good first impression to your coach or your mom? Well, I have, and I'm telling you how LeadWorthy helped me learn this. Today I'll be telling you what I learned from LeadWorthy. And in LeadWorthy, I learned how to introduce myself. Last summer, I got in a big argument with my coach, and then I got kicked off my soccer team. And then it was like, that team helped me a lot because like my parents didn't want to pay, so I played it for free. And then when I got in an argument and left, my mom was really disappointed in me. So then I had a lot of teams that wanted me to go play, but it was a lot of money, and my mom didn't want to pay. So then every time I would go try out for a team that wasn't as good, my mom told me to make a good first impression and told me to introduce myself correctly, and that's what I did. And because of this, I'm in a new team. And then in conclusion, I'll tell you what I learned from LeadWorthy.
In LeadWorthy, we have learned many things like consequences and opposites and all those other things. But one lesson that stuck up to me was first impressions, because like first impressions are like, I don't know, but like the things that like lead for other humans talking to each other and like communication all around this planet and stuff. And in elementary, there was this kid, like he had some bad day or something on the first day, and like throughout the whole year, like he never talked to anyone, like no one like wanted to talk to him, and I'm just like, I guess like that was first impression, and like why no one wanted to talk to him. And one time I had a problem with first impression was 2 summers ago when I went to vacation to meet my family in Japan. And like at the time, I stayed in the US for around like 5 years, and I completely forgot how to speak Japanese. And so like when I like met my family, like I didn't even know how to talk to them or anyway. Like only I can do is like hand motions and stuff like that. And like in like the whole like month I was in Japan, it was really awkward and stuff. And like my first impression like did a lot with it, cause like I couldn't say like hello or something, or like how was your day or something like that. And it just like led this like real like awkward vibe for like that whole month. And that's why I think first impression is important and stuff like that. And let's see. Oh yeah. And so today I challenge you guys to meet somebody new. And
This past Saturday, I was traveling back on the bus from Fort Worth, and it was really hard not to celebrate making it to nationals, but it was really easy once I put myself in my friend's shoes next to me who did it. He was so sad that he wouldn't even answer a call from his own mom. Today I'm going to tell you about a lesson in LeadWorthy I learned about empathy. In LeadWorthy, we learned about the I Think skills. Empathy, one of which is the ability to feel what other people feel. Empathy is important in leadership because it gives you the ability to connect with other people, and then your teamwork will excel. This way you will succeed and exceed expectations. Today I told you about what I learned about empathy in LeadWorthy. So before you say something or do something, think about how somebody next to you might feel and consider not doing it.
this year, a lesson I've learned in LeadWorthy is have to be confident and self-confidence. Self-confidence is accepting yourself for who you are and achieving goals for in the future. I've always been too shy to step up and be a better person for myself. LeadWorthy class made me a better person I am today, in my opinion. I feel more confident every day I walk in here, knowing I can do something I really never thought I could do. At first, I thought I would never be confident because I never tried. But next time, I always dreamed about being a dancer, and I can't be a dancer if I don't have self-confidence. Until I realized I can do anything I want to do if I actually try and actually succeed in things I want to do. In conclusion, I just told you what I've learned in the LeadWorthy class and what made me better.
Doctor, a lawyer, or even a teacher. Do you not know which you want to be? Or do you have simple goals like get an A on tests? Whatever goal it is, it's important to work at it. Be grace is a lesson I've learned in LeadWorthy. Though I don't agree with it because I think each goal requires extra effort. It can be little things like I have a lot of tests this month, and me and my mom, we've been working, we've been studying, and because I'm really trying to get my study habits up because I have a goal to be a doctor, a pediatrician. And big goals do start with little goals such as, just like smiling every day. So I'm very thankful that Mr. Herrick has taught me in LeadWorthy that big goals require extra effort. Thank you.
Yes.
Look on that. Like, I'm the last one.
You are the last one who signed up for today. Oh shoot, I forgot.
So, Malcolm, failure is success if we learn from it. This is a quote by Malcolm Forbes. To me, this quote means that failure isn't always a bad thing because only then you can learn from your mistakes. Today, I'm going to tell you a lesson I've learned in LeadWorthy. One of the most important lessons I've learned in LeadWorthy is growth and fixed mindsets. And experience that I have had about this lesson is procrastinating on a project. I had a project a few weeks ago, and this teacher gave us a due date. I didn't feel like doing my project, and I kept a fixed mindset. I didn't even get to start on the project until the day before the due date. I didn't finish the project, and I got a bad grade. If I had a growth mindset, then I could have done my project ahead of time. Today, I've told you a lesson I've learned. In conclusion, this year in team leadership, I have understood the importance of a growth mindset.
So, ever since I was a little child, I've always had struggles making friends, like making friends with kids my own age. I've always had these struggles because I've always made bad first impressions on them. Those bad first impressions came from either trying too hard with them, like me trying too hard to be their friend, or me trying too little. I honestly don't really have good social skills, so I really couldn't tell what they wanted me to do. So usually when I either tried too hard or too little, they assumed that there was something wrong with me, what's his problem? Does he not think I'm good enough? So they ended up usually not being my friend. However, when I got to Mr. Herrick's class, I learned how to change these bad first impressions on the kids I was making. I learned how to change them, and I learned how to change. Okay, and I learned how to change them because I learned about the tool. I learned about an important lesson that'll help me do it. Okay, today an important lesson that'll help me change those. Today I'm going to tell you about an important lesson I learned in LeadWorthy. Okay, so an important lesson I learned in LeadWorthy is it takes 20 first impressions to undo one bad one. this lesson stood out to me because like I felt like this lesson throughout the whole year was like the lesson that really stuck with me because it really had an impact on my life. So there's actually a few people in this room which I've used this on, and their opinion about me has completely changed. So like ever since like the first day, like maybe like 40 days later, like in December, their opinion changed about me, and like they thought I was a cool kid. So they thought I was a really nice kid and stuff like that. So yeah, this is how the lesson affected me, like helped me. So to conclude, if you ever have trouble making a good first impression on someone, whether it's like someone big, like a job interviewer, or someone simple, like a new friend, never give up hope. Don't ever give up hope because if you implement this lesson I've shared with you today, you never know like whose mind you might change. Thank you very much.
Everyone who has ever taken this class has a different response to what have you learned in LeadWorthy. Whether it's first impressions, good attitude, or action. Today I'll be telling you something that I've learned in LeadWorthy. Have you ever been told you can't get a 100 on that test, or you can't make that team, or you'll never be good enough? Well, the way to get through that is big dreams, because they're big goals that will get you far in life, and without those you can't get to your goals that you really want to impress those people that you'll do better than what they said that you can't do. So, but it's not just simple just going for that goal. You have to have a good attitude, or else you'll just doubt yourself the whole way through it. Without big dreams, everyone will just not go far in life and just expect themselves to the lowest. Today I told you something I learned in LeadWorthy, and with big And then with big dreams, with a good attitude, and you do 100%, you'll go far in life.
Mornings can be difficult for me, and I can have the alarm sounding very loud in my ears, and I can hear it because I sleep like a rock. So have you ever had your mom very angry at you in the mornings because she's trying to wake you up because she knows you sleep like a dead man or like a rock? Well, I have. So today I'm going to tell you about something I have learned in LeadWorthy. Having someone to remind you everything every day, and they even have to wake you up in the mornings. That's terrible and embarrassing at the same time. But I have learned something in LeadWorthy that to have self-motivation in myself. Self-motivation in the access means the ability to tell yourself what to do rather than having someone else telling you every single day what to do. And I love this quote from William Candace, who said, "Early bird gets all the worms." The idea behind that expression is that the birds that wakes up the earliest have the best chance to get a good meal, since no bird have awoken yet to pick some worms. Thank you.
Today I'm going to be talking about what I've learned these past several months in team leadership. What I've learned in team leadership is to love and believe in yourself. The quote of the day is, "Love yourself and everything falls in line." You really have to love yourself to get anything done in this world. What I mean about that is you can't depend on other people to love you. You have to love yourself. You can't do that. You can't love yourself. If you don't love yourself, then what's the point? What's the point of life? You have to love yourself no matter what you hear about yourself, what people say about you. So what I want you to do is close your eyes and think about the negativity and then erase it. And name 5 things that you love about yourself. And every time you hear something negative, just think of those 5 things and walk away. Today, I told you guys what I learned about leadership, about loving yourself, so you shouldn't give up on anything. So today I told you what you guys I learned growing up and why you should always love yourself.
Are in an everyday trends. When I tell you that everything's that the world is such a busy place. Everything is going on. I gotta get to a job. I gotta get to school. I gotta pick up my kid. I gotta do this. I gotta make dinner. I gotta buy my kids shoes. I gotta go to clubs. I gotta go to this. And in the meantime, in between time, we sometimes underestimate our value. You know, sometimes when our thoughts, you know, we underestimate ourselves. We say, oh, we're just supposed to do this. Oh, we're supposed to do that. Oh, I'm not supposed to be a business owner. I'm just supposed to have a good job. You know? Oh, I'm not supposed to, I'm not supposed to have a good job. I'm just supposed to be a good mom. You know, I'm not valued by anybody. You know, I'm just supposed to be this. You know, I'm supposed to just be a good football player, nothing else. You know, I'm just supposed to do this. And our thoughts are like a computer. Our thoughts are like a computer. They generate what's going to come out. I remember Mr. Herrick. It was a keyboard and computer and a printer lesson. Our thoughts are. No, other people, they're like a keyboard. They influence you. They type in what you think. And so our printer is what's gonna come out. And so, but what we need to do is we need to shove people aside off that keyboard and type on our keyboard and say, no, I'm worth something. Just positive stuff. I'm supposed to impact people. I'm supposed to be positive. I'm supposed to help that person up when they're down. And so today I want to share with you that your thoughts determine your actions. And so at the end of the day, only really you can control what's being typed on that keyboard. Only you can do it. Yes, you know, some people can, but you're supposed to shove people aside, especially when it's negative. Now, when it's positive, you know, you can let people, but even then you have to watch that because you don't want to be pumped up neither. You don't want people to, you don't want to get arrogant. You want to, it's weird. I don't know how to explain it. Like, you should control what's being typed on your keyboard. You're supposed to control that. And so whatever you do, you're supposed to control what you think. And what you think comes out. If you think something bad is going to happen, that's going to come out your printer. If you think something good is going to happen, it's going to come out your printer. If you think you're good enough for that job interview, it's going to come out your printer. You're going to get hired. But if you're not coming prepared, if you're not coming with 100%, if you're not doing whatever it takes, that's not going to come out your printer. And so whatever you do, you need to look at the mirror and say, hey, I'm worth something. Hey, I need to know that I'm loved, I'm appreciated by people, and if nobody loves me, I'm gonna love myself. You know, and that's not selfish, that's just saying that's my worth. You know, because like the last couple of years I had to do that and say forget everybody. You know, I mean I know I have parents, but you know, I need to love myself. You know, I need to love myself because if I don't love me, who really is? You know, especially when we leave out into the world, right? So whatever you think is what's going to come out. Your self-concept, what you think about yourself, is going to determine your confidence level and what's going to come out. And so, in closing, there are two trees. One was planted by two separate farmers, right? One farmer had a tree and he took extra well care of it. You know, seeded seeds, he pruned the tree, water, adequate sunlight. Other farmer, no sunlight, nothing. He just planted the seed and said, you know, let's see if, you know, what can grow from that, but I'm not going to do anything with it. I'm just going to plant the seed, right? And so, but what happened is that one tree, that tree grew and grew and grew. And it eventually multiplied. It didn't just grew. It didn't just grow. It created a whole forest. And it created a whole ecosystem for squirrels to eat nuts in the science class. But it created a whole ecosystem. And people could live in it. It's all that good stuff. Basically, the point is it multiplied. But this tree, what happened is that nothing happened. Nothing. It just stayed in the ground. We don't know what happened. A squirrel could have dug up and ate that seed. And what I'm saying is, your thoughts are water. Your thoughts is the sun. Your thoughts grow, and your thoughts help you grow. And when they're positive, They help you grow. But when they're negative, they're just gonna sit there. And eventually it's gonna get worse for you. What happens is your positive thoughts are gonna help you grow. And so what you need to do is plant positive thoughts and take care of those positive thoughts, and don't let anybody take it away. And you're gonna, not only are you gonna grow, but other people are gonna grow through you when they see, hey, that girl's different. Hey, that guy's different. You know, he's not, talking about everybody. He's not calling, girl, she talking to, she being messy, but like she's not. What's wrong with her? Why is she talking about everybody? Or why isn't he making fun of? Why is he not making fun of that kid that's not that good at basketball or not that good at sport? Why is he encouraging him? Why is he teaching him tips? It's because not only you have that positive mindset, but you can give it to everybody else. So I challenge each and every one of you. I challenge each and every one of you to make your positive thoughts come out. That's my speech.